And we are back with our final drop of the night for the MechWarrior Online World Championship 2016 Regional Qualifiers. Two teams that we're going to be bringing you for our final drop is the Cadre versus the Aphelion. And this should be an interesting fight. I think we've seen both of these. We
I
saw the
think we've seen the
Aphelion
Cadre
earlier.
before.
We actually had the Aphelion, I think, was our drop. Oh, that didn't
No, they
happen,
didn't
didn't it?
didn't have all their
They
players in
didn't have all
time.
their players in time. So I think the Aphelion rescheduled that match or something like that. So then me and you beat up on each other horribly for
Yeah,
a
that was
while.
that was our 1v1.
So we were going to see that fight, and that actually was HHOD Team 2, which we just saw against Atari Scorpions, so we had a little bit of overlap there. But yeah, so we get to see the Aphelion, who has their whole team here now, and the Cadre. Let's take a look at the decks. First thing that jumps to my vision is an Ebon Jaguar for the Cadre, as well as a Marauder
Pretty good
Bounty Hunter
laser
2.
laser boat if you can use it.
Absolutely. It does have some pretty nasty hitboxes, though, so if you're not careful, it can get
Yeah.
killed pretty easily. But it is a clan mech and has that ability, that survivability, I guess, that comes with it. We'll have to see what kind of build they brought on that MJ. On the other side, we see in Griffin 2N, Shadowcat, dual Kodiak 3s, Arctic Cheetah, Timberwolf. So the
Maybe a little bit
2N
more
leads
of a
me
brawl
to,
deck.
yeah, the 2N leads me to believe it's a little bit more of a brawl deck, but we'll have to see what they do when they coordinate their attack. Let's get in here and see what some of these builds actually are right off the bat. So once again, we are on Canyon Network. 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults, as usual, on Conquest. And let's see, Shadowcat bringing 2 large pulse lasers, Griffin 2N bringing 1 flamer and 4 SRM6, a very nice
And that
build.
flamer can be pretty useful in a brawl.
Absolutely, that is definitely a fun Griffin 2N build. Very good meta build, and very useful in the 4v4 scouting matches too. I have fun with that. The Kodiak 3 though, dual Gauss, dual machine gun, 2 ER PPCs. Of course, those machine guns, they don't even bring ammo on those things, to be perfectly honest. Their entire purpose is to hike those Gauss up to those high shoulders, and it looks
yeah.
like that is exactly what they did. There's the Gauss and the Gauss, so that's very good hill peeker. Hopefully they do hill peeking and not, asymmetrical round the corner peeking, because that is, completely defeats the purpose. And we've seen that a few times during this tournament where people weren't using the strengths of the builds that they had. The other Kodiak, though, is bringing that dual, or the quad Ultra AC-10. So they have a very mixed deck. They got some Brawl, they got some long range, they got some DACA support, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. They sent their Arctic Cheetah immediately off the cap, so they are rolling an immediate 3 cap, and it's going to be on the Cadre to make a move here or start trading well at this point. They're marching their quad Ultra AC-10 Kodiaks up, and they're taking looks like a strong position here behind radio towers. So they're going to go for trades, but they're going to hemorrhage caps, and there's no reason for the Aphelion to do anything aggressive at this point. They don't even need to peek. They need,
Yeah.
especially bringing some brawlers. They
Bleed
don't
that
even
cap
need
down as
to,
long as
yeah,
you
just
can.
bleed it down and then goad them into a brawl and then see what you can do. Maybe they can get some good trades with those dual Gauss Kodiaks and stuff. We'll have to see. But the worst thing I think that the Aphelion can do right now is press and fail, bad trades. Bad trades and pressing right now is not a good plan. So things looking really good for Aphelion at this point, but let's see how these the dual Gauss here. Let's see what it looks like on this firing eagle. It's a very good peak point for him. Definitely using this. This actually works really well because those 2 PPCs are in that right arm. This is the perfect position to peak.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the vertical cover there, and then you've got just enough downslope on the right side to allow those PPCs to reach the target. So a little bit more twisting, I think, would be warranted on the incoming fire instead of just mean mugging your team. Get that little bit of a right twist to allow your profile to shrink a bit would be important. Now, they've conceded Kappa to the Cadre here, and so we're going to get back to a 2-2 cap, but the ticket's heavily in favor of Aphelion, and they have enough Overwatch over Theta that the 2-2 is still good for them. So we'll have to see what they're going to do. Are they going to push Theta? Or, you know, like I said, the worst thing the Aphelion can do right now, I think, is push it. Now, they've got a sneaky bugger back here. The Arctic Cheetah backcapping Gamma. That's a great move. He can get out fast enough.
Jemima, the team captain for the Cadre in the Kodiak, is taking a pounding on these trades. Already opened up CT. Just not doing a good job with the peaks, not getting the fire down range, and a quick kill. I didn't even see where that came from.
Jemima's getting hit from all angles too, even getting shot in the back from this wide spread. This kind of looks like almost like an Antari Scorpion style spread, but with less range max. Really, they're just all over the place. And, you know, the Cadre needs to identify this. We have a little bit of a fight over here. Oxide versus Arctic Cheetah.
And another light shows up.
The Griffin 2N just showed up. And it's, you know, that...
Oh, is that the Griffin? That's the Griffin. Uh-oh.
Catalina Steiner should be able to do some work here, but this Arctic Cheetah can't just stand still and take SRMs to the face.
Yeah, this Oxide has to get out of here, though. They don't want to do a 2v1.
Absolutely. So now we've got almost a 4-cap in favor of the Aphelion, and Cadre.
And the other thing to point out here is
the
the Cadre has a Streak Stormcrow. That Streak Stormcrow needs to be helping its lights out.
I can't believe that Streak Stormcrow isn't out there working with the lights. The Cadre is just getting completely decimated right now, and
they lost another mech.
They've missed the opportunity, I think, to make a press in one direction, and now it's just a slow bleed out. They're not winning these trades. The Aphelion is playing this very professionally, I feel. Doing an extremely good job just keeping the damage going downfield, punishing anybody that peeks like that. That is a bad peek for the 7 Jaguar to take, and he got punished for it. And they've got that Shadow Cat off on the left side, just getting that extra poke damage in with those 600-meter optimal large pulse lasers for the clans. And
very powerful.
The Cadre is in a very sticky spot right now. This is not looking too good for them.
And now this Epic Jaguar is actually out on their own.
Yeah, and he just ran away from the strike right back into more large pulse fire from that Shadow Cat, just slowly bleeding him out. Cadre has no choice, in my opinion, right now, but to charge. That's the only option they have.
That's all they've got.
But even still, they've taken
just
so much
and he's about to go
damage.
Down.
They've taken so much damage that they're not coming back from this at all. This one, I'm calling it right now. Aphelion playing it so well and so fresh right now that they just completely took the Cadre to school on this one.
And Caps in trading.
Absolutely. That was like just so well played. Like, I think they got to be feeling really good about how that one went. Absolutely. Cadre needs to go back to the drawing board, and I think part of it comes down to the drop calling, the lack of urgency when they realized, if they realized, that they were failing in that position and needed to make a move. And a lot of that call, I think, needed to be identified just purely by watching what caps were being taken and where you were. Like, you should have been able to just look at the map and realize that it's time to go.
And the other dangerous thing too is you got to make sure that when you're making the call, like if you're taking fire, calling where the enemy team is, if you take fire from one mech who's spread out a little wider, you got to make sure you call it as one mech and not the whole team. You don't want to give your drop caller the wrong information. You don't want to say that the enemy team is in a place where really it's only one mech, or you know, if the entire team spreads around, all of a sudden to the drop caller, it sounds like there's nowhere to go, and that's not necessarily true.
Absolutely. I do agree, though, that this Streak Stormcrow, they brought it for a reason, and then they didn't use it for the reason they brought it. For that anti-light capability. They could have potentially controlled Kappa throughout the entire match and at least given them an opening to try something else, you know, or try to get some sort of map control. But essentially, the Arctic Cheetah just had a feel... Given it's, you know, they have two Arctic Cheetahs, and maybe... the Streak Crow couldn't have gone through that much ECM, especially with the Shadow Cat there too, and the Griffin 2N. There's a lot of ECM.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of ECM on Aphelion.
But that Streak Crow should be running a BAP.
It should be, but that only counters one ECM. And if you got, you know, the Griffin 2N and an Arctic Cheetah, you're not going to get locks on anything, to be perfectly honest. So that was, I mean... You know, we're saying, well, the Streak Crow should have been in there and should have been helping with the lights, but that is a lot of ECM. That is a ton of ECM, and it was used effectively. And it actually went to caps before even losing that last Oxide. But the Marauder essentially did nothing. The Arctic Cheetah did nothing. And the Hunchback did nothing. And even the Oxide barely scratched. Kodiak Naka MG doing as much as he possibly could in that Kodiak 3. And, of course, the Eben Jag and the team leader, Jemima, in the Kodiak 3. But those, those mechs alone just can't out-trade an entire team of mechs basically made for trading. And well played, very clean win by the Aphelion.
Yeah, like I said, they had map control and they had the better trades. There's just about nothing more you can ask for at that point.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the map here and just kind of draw it out. Team 2, of course, being the Aphelion. Concentrating initially, they sent one mech to Kappa right off the bat, sent one to Epsilon right off the bat, and they, of course, took Sigma. And then they focused on, they had the Shadowcat kind of operating right here. They had a good spread of mechs, say, on the right side.
Yeah.
And just basically doing a full-on map control. They did get kind of pushed around into this right corner at some point here with a win over Kappa, but that was very short-lived because then here comes the Griffin 2N coming right in there to help them, taking that Kappa back and rolling the 4 cap for a good period of time. And really the failure for the Cadre was just committing to the Delta 3, which is a very strong position. You just can't rely on that position to win you the match.
Yeah.
You need to be able to react.
Out-trade team.
You need to be able to out-trade, and the fact that there were some brawly mechs on the Aphelion, and that didn't stop them from getting really good trades with the dual Gauss Kodiaks, dual PPC, stuff like that. They were tossing that damage downfield and really giving it to the Cadre. And there's a point in time where you just gotta go, and it just never came. It just never came. The eventual bleed out down in this area here, but the match was already decided by then. So very well played by the Aphelion. It just never felt like they at any point lost control of the game and just took that straight to victory. And the Cadre just not moving when it was time to move, basically. That's really what it comes down to.
Like I said, this game's all about movement. If you move, the Aphelion did so. They maintained control of the game the entire time.
Yep.
Keep your feet planted, you're going to lose.
And that's where a lot of the info wars comes from. Learning the opponent's deck, learning their capabilities, and then reacting to it. And part of that could have been not getting that information to the drop caller. Part of that could be the drop caller not knowing what to do with that information. And this is all stuff that comes from just doing it. Get out there, compete,
it's experience.
Get your butt kicked, compete, learn, come back at it again, and improve. And that's the key. And so that's, some of these teams that are playing in this tournament, they're not going to, most of the teams in this tournament are not going to make it to the regional finals, and that's a guarantee. As long as these teams can take something away from this and improve because of it, come back next year and do even better. That should be the goal. That should absolutely be the goal.
It's plenty of experience for those teams that want to learn and want to get better.
Absolutely. So that was it for tonight. That was